Now they can hear us. Oh.
Now they can hear us.
Everybody join us on Instagram. Hey, everybody.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
Wow. Hey, good to see everybody. It's been a long time since I've been here. Good to see you guys all again.
It's a new year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you all had a great holiday, great Christmas, whatever else you celebrate.
And as most people know, that the House Bill 5855 did pass. Doesn't mean anything yet until the Senate votes on it. Which will probably be Sunday, maybe it might pass, maybe not, because a lot of the counties down in Southern Illinois are sanctuary Second Amendment counties. So how do you pull that off? Too bad Kane County is not a sanctuary Second Amendment county, or McHenry, or because it is your constitutional right. It's not for hunting. It is not for.
Yeah, they'll pass it while we sleep. That's what Doorbell's delivery said. Yeah, you're right.
Hopefully not. Hopefully there's some smart senators down there. Hopefully there's smart senators here.
Coming through the lame duck session, of course, right? Just push it through. Everybody's sleeping. And then the thing is, then if they, once it passes, which they're going to obviously pass, it's a super majority in the Senate as of now.
I hope it doesn't pass at all. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I'll hope for, but
yeah,
it's not going to happen. But hopefully it gets fought, gets pushed back some. I don't know how much they're going to be able to do. If not, you have to register any of the weapons you currently own that fall under their category of assault within 300 days.
And you have to register your magazines too, don't you?
We have to get rid of them. Can't have anything more than 12 round capacity. Anything more than that, and you're a felon. You don't register your weapon, you're a felon. So you have to go register it so that when they start to go and collect them, they know where to go. They know what your address is. And you pay a $25 fee to register it too.
Every one you have.
Yeah.
And then they want to do something too with bullets. I saw something they want to do something about bullets.
And you absolutely cannot have a 50 caliber.
No. All right. I don't know how many 50 cals been used in drive-by shootings.
Everybody with a Desert Eagle, that gun is now garbage.
But a Desert Eagle is a 50 cal shortened, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about 50 cal BMG.
I don't think it matters. I think it said as long as it's 50 cal, you're not.
You know, that was my nickname in high school, 50 cal BMG.
You know. Yeah, but Jesus. Short and thin. But they're going to push it through, so it's just a matter of how well we fight it once it does go through, and make it happen. And we push back against it. There's a shooting today by a 6-year-old in Virginia. Yesterday by a 6-year-old kid. She came to school with a gun and shot his teacher. So that'll be another reason why this needs to pass. It's not.
Or maybe if the kid's going to school at 6 years old, maybe the parents should be looked at. That's
right. They certainly have some liability. How does a 6-year-old have access to a gun?
Yes.
A live loaded gun too. If you don't have your gun secured, you shouldn't have a gun.
And one of the first things you do is teach kids gun safety.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
my kids knew immediately you don't touch it or pick it up unless someone's threatening your life.
And if they do see a gun, make sure they tell an adult to secure the weapon.
Yeah,
that's what my kids know what to do. I will say my oldest is a really good shot. I think one day will outshoot me. My youngest, she likes it, but she's still a little too young.
I'm getting mine. So it was nice in Illinois. I thought you had to be 12 before you could go to the gun range and shoot, but I stopped at GAT, one of our clients up in Elgin, talked to him I think it was 8.
Yeah,
as long as you go take their safety class, you can shoot there. It was awesome. So it was a 3-hour class.
Yeah, if you teach them young, they'll be more responsible.
Batavia's looking at doing assault weapons ban. Is that still going through? No, it didn't pass, right? The Batavia assault weapons ban.
No, it did not. it wasn't really an assault weapon ban. I can't remember what the store.
Wasn't it so that you couldn't sell them within the city of Batavia because they're trying to stop the next store from coming in? I thought that was the whole.
I think so. Maybe I'm not sure. I mean,
because they had that other store that was going to open.
Yeah,
they didn't.
Chris from Apocalypse Hardware. It would affect him, and even if this ban does go, you're going to be putting a lot of people out of work, not just manufacturers, but the people that sell, independent mom and pop shops that have gun stores.
All of our clients right now that are sitting on a bunch of all the gun shops we sell our coffee at, they're sitting on massive inventory of ARs because people want them so bad. They're sitting on massive inventory. What the hell are they going to do with all those? Now they want to try to sell them out of state.
Yeah, John Roberts, what's up, studs? Yeah, you're right. 2 studs here. If they had a stud finder, it'd be pointing right at us.
So Dorbliss says Batavia passed cannabis sales, but Batavia will not allow a dispensary. Of course not.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's surrounded by them.
It's around. Yeah, I mean, you got St. Charles and Aurora.
Where did I just go last night? I saw one. I was like, oh, there's a dispensary. I had no idea. Saw it somewhere. I was so surprised by it. I hadn't even noticed it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Oh, in Schaumburg. Yeah, I saw one. There was one in Schaumburg yesterday. I didn't know Schaumburg. I didn't think Schaumburg allowed it, but there's one in Schaumburg.
I mean, they are money makers. I mean, Jesus Christ! But they can't put their money in a bank, right? They can't.
Not.
Isn't that weird?
It's federal because it's federally not set up yet. The one by me and Elgin. Holy cow, that one is Windy City. That place is packed every night, all day long. There's people coming in and out, walking out with huge bags. That place is doing massive business.
Well, they did say for the year 2022, record sales of cannabis sales, right? I mean, so as long as the state's getting their money and the county and the town, right, they're getting their money. So, I mean, technically you can buy cheaper on the street, but then you're a felon. Or not really a felon, but I'm just saying, if a dime bag, I don't know what a dime bag even goes for anymore, right?
I have no idea.
Let's just say it's $25.
That's expensive, but the stuff in the dispensary is way more potent than any stuff we had around us in high school.
Yeah,
it's a whole different level of stuff that we never even considered. So, it's much more expensive. Right. And then you pay a massive tax on it too. It's a 15 or 20% sales tax on it.
Right, and it does have its benefits. I think there's some people just lying about what.
No,
like cataracts. No. I got a cataract problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, the nice thing is with the medical card, all the medical card does for you now is save you on the sales tax. If you have a medical card, you don't pay the 20 or 25% tax. You pay regular sales tax.
You just can't walk in dispensary, anybody.
Yeah. In Illinois, it's recreational use now. Illinois passed it 2 years ago when Aurora dispensary opened. It's recreational. You can walk in. You don't have to have a prescription in. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's recreational. You can just walk in anyone and buy it anytime.
Well, Chris says the sales tax at a dispensary is closer to 40%.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. Because one of my friends, it was telling me maybe it is 40%. I thought he said 25, and then you don't. If you have the card, you pay regular sales tax. Right. But maybe it's 40%. If it is, it is. I have no clue.
Right, because if you have a FOID card or concealed carry, you cannot. If I remember correctly, you cannot have a medical marijuana
concealed carry. You can't
concealed carry.
FOID you can, but you cannot have concealed carry and have the medical card.
Depends on the level of THC.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, Dorbliss says it's just like walking in a store, get alcohol.
No shit. Huh. And
not a good time for a call, Jordan.
I told
you should be watching the podcast, Jordan.
Sorry for that interruption.
That's our website guy calling us during our podcast because he's not watching the podcast.
And plus, I forgot to turn down the thing because I hit the button and it came up live, so I didn't want to mess around.
So he says it ranges on from 20 to 40%, depending on what you're getting, and they're allowed to set the tax. Well, that's interesting. You can set your own tax per shop. That seems like taxation without representation.
Yeah, I mean,
let's throw some pot into the Fox River. It'd be like the Batavia weed party. Why does the doorbell keep going?
It's upstairs.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. It's not very well
Soundproofed
up
it?
there. Soundproofed, yeah.
Hey, you finally got a Speaker of the House now too. McCarthy made it after the 15th vote.
Yep, after the 15th vote, he is now Speaker of the House. How good is he going to be? I don't know.
Wait, so he's saying it since it's recreational, you can just go in there and you can still have your concealed carry. I thought the law was that after they made it recreational. Because how would they know? How would they know? Because you don't have to sign now because it's recreational. You don't have to sign for anything.
You don't?
Just walk in and buy it like it's out. Like you said, like it's alcohol. You don't sign for alcohol.
Chris, you're right. Everyone would be in the Fox River waiting for it to come downstream.
Catch it, filter it out. After everything's been in the Fox River.
Yeah, anything in the Fox River, I wouldn't want to touch.
That'd be way more potent.
It would be. I mean, you get some
Fucking
mercury, lead.
sewage, mercury, lead, whatever other fucking toxic fucking poisons are in there.
Hey, the fish would get a great high before you catch them. You know, be like, oh man, you get fish to eat more so you can cast and they would catch it.
I remember in Boy Scouts, I was tipping the canoe in the Fox River 30 years ago, you know, and getting home. I fucking left my shoes outside for like a week for them to dry.
You just throw
them
away.
They fucking stunk so bad. I had to get rid of them. Just like, this is the worst thing ever. Wait, I just realized this wasn't the Joe Rogan experience. Nice, Roberts. But if you get a medical card, the state will close your concealed carry card. That's so dumb. So if you don't get a card, you're good. But if you get the card, then they close your concealed carry. So you can't have the medical card and concealed carry, but you can recreational use and have concealed carry. That sounds exactly like a government bullshit thing.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like government run around normal business as usual bullshit. Fucking stupid world. Thank God I only got like another 20 years here.
Oh,
just don't get the medical card and you're good to go.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, John's watching. You think, well, Eddie. I don't know why we call him Eddie. I don't know why they call him Eddie. Well, why we call John Eddie?
That's his middle name. That's what his dad always called him.
Really?
His mom wanted John and his dad wanted Ed.
Oh, well. We need to get together soon because this is our slow time.
So he says, Dorbliss says, if they say if you have a medical card, it's making you dependent, which on the Floyd application is a negative for being accepted. Or Floyd application. Or Floyd.
Or on your thing you write too, to fill out for your state form. Thought I said something too.
Yeah, I think you do.
So, easiest way is not say anything and ask for forgiveness later, I guess.
Yeah.
So John is saying that a recreation,
recreational,
card.
Recreational card soon. We have to have a recreational card now.
The state wants to make money. Why not?
Why would you have to have a recreational card?
Nothing. He's bringing up, I think, a good idea for it.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's running for fucking.
I don't want a card at all. If I want to buy weed, I want to fucking go in and buy and walk out. I don't want an alcohol card where they have to know who it is every time that buys alcohol.
I don't want a Floyd card either.
Neither do I.
But,
but I don't want a fucking rec card. I want them just to leave me alone and just fucking let the Constitution we'll just abide by the Constitution and leave every fucking thing else alone. How about that? How about you let me live free? Leave me alone. I'll send you some taxes. And you just leave me alone. And don't bother me until I break a law. Instead of trying to pass laws around me so that I'm forced to break them.
Making everybody criminals.
Just the Constitution outlines it pretty well.
Yeah.
Don't kill anybody. Leave your neighbor alone. Don't enslave anybody. Let people have their freedom of opinion. Don't mess with the press. Let them report the truth if they want. That's about it. What else do you need? You get to practice whatever religion you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And that's what the Constitution says. You basically can do anything you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else. That's it. What else do you need?
How many amendments are there?
20. Is it 28 now?
28 amendments?
I hate to not know that.
25? I mean, we know definitely there's 10.
Oh, obviously, there's 10. That's the Bill of Rights. Sorry, I'm answering.
But the first four are probably the most important ones.
Oh, yes. Oh, the 14th is pretty important.
Yes.
You know, the 8th is pretty important. So the 14th is pretty important. Oh, there's not an amendment that's not absolutely
Right.
super important. It's just crazy. Like, so much of that is under threat right now, and I think it's amazing to me how willing people are to give up those rights, and don't care. Especially like any group of people that wants to quiet another group of people because they don't like what they're saying. It's so anti-First Amendment, but they never look at it that way. But I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have to allow people to say stuff that you disagree with. That's part of that protects everybody's freedom of speech. It's ignorant when people don't recognize that.
Yeah. Warsaw Patriot, I see again. Yes, they're trying to pass it. Hopefully it doesn't. But yes, it would ban your rifles, shotguns, pistols, mags. It would make it worse than California.
I mean, what we need is we need to get the criminals to start following the laws.
Get the criminals to write a bill to make criminals follow the law.
It says you have to follow the law.
Yeah. Register your gun. That is so simple.
You should go down and give a DNA sample, give fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you move towns, first thing you have to do is go to the police department, give them a DNA and fingerprints.
Yes, and tell them what you're going to do, so when you do it, they can get you real quick.
Yep. The bill is a Canadian style bill. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Canada, you can't even have. I think they banned everything in Canada. That's
which is funny because like 90% of the population hunts up there and lives off the food that they hunt.
Yeah,
it's a massive thing up there. And so, that's why they're working on getting rid of that prime minister. They don't want him.
That prime minister Trudeau.
The laws are
pretty boy.
Laws are all to keep good people suppressed. I agree with you, Dorbliss.
Well, how come most of them that are trying to pass these bills don't have children of their own? There was something about that. I don't know. There was something weird.
It's a soft world.
Yeah.
It's like that quote is so good that I first heard it on Rogan was hard men create soft times. And what was it? And then soft men create hard times, which is we're in the midst of it right now. We've had soft times, we've had good times for the last 30, 40 years, other than like Iraq. Right here, it's been pretty good. There was never a threat here. There hasn't been a threat to us since World War II. Right? Nobody here in this country lives under threat.
Right.
You had the terrorist attack, so that maybe was a little bit, right? So but that's still been 21 years now.
And we've never had a country try to invade the United States since 1812.
Right. It's been very soft. All the bullshit over the last 10 years with my identity, my pronouns, all that bullshit. People have time for that shit because it's such soft times. In hard times, people don't have time for that bullshit. I'm Wolf. My pronouns are Wolf yourself, and all that bullshit. Nobody has time for that during hard times. During soft times, you have time for all that nonsense and ridiculousness. But when hard times come,
all the bullshit they teach in college.
Yeah, you have time for all that bullshit when you're living in your parents' basement. You don't have a job. You don't have responsibilities. You're not going out in the world trying to make something. You have time to sit on TikTok and make videos about your individual pronouns, about how you're part animal and all that bullshit. That's how soft the times are. That's a great representation of how soft times are. People have time for that bullshit.
Yeah.
During hard times, nobody has time for that shit. I have a problem with it. Just focus on doing something for the society.
While other countries are focusing on trying to kill other people, we're trying to focus on how to help other people, I don't know, do bullshit stuff.
Yes, each person each person's special, and each person is so unique and individual. That's what it's about.
Nobody's fucking special.
No, you're super special. That's what these kids have been told. You're special. So you don't even have to do anything now to be special. You're just special.
You mean I just do it and I get a trophy for it?
You're special. You went on. You made a video. You're special. Look you have likes. You're special. Look, I did nothing. Look, I flipped a water bottle and it landed. I'm special. Tell me how special I am. I should get a trophy for that.
I should get 100,000 views.
Mm-hmm. That's
No.
how soft it is. That's how soft and stupid it is right now. Nobody cares about being better, being a productive part of society. You know.
While you got kids working fields, our kids are out there just playing games.
That's soft. Like I said, it's soft time. It's soft people. People have become so soft. We're about to go into hard times. So now, look, we're going to be screwed when it becomes. Russia just saw it now. They've conscripted another 500,000 people. 500,000 to go. That's a hell of a lot of people that they're going to go march in spring. China's going to move into Taiwan. They're already moving planes. We have our super carriers hanging off their coast, getting ready for that. North Korea is going to start some shit. So we're going to be on 3 fronts with a bunch of people who want to tell you about their personal issues rather than how do we fucking.
And China's got an army where they can still invade Taiwan, be cooped up with that for a while, then help the North Koreans. And we will still buy shit from China saying, oh, we need this.
God,
we can't.
Right. That's part of what killed this whole economy was that all the manufacturing moved out of this country. It was allowed to happen. You know, it's so ridiculous. What puts our country back on top, what made us a superpower was we were a great manufacturing center. And that you have no gross domestic product when you push all the manufacturing out. And when you lower your GDP, you have no value. You're a broker to the world.
There's probably not one thing here that's not made in China.
The most American thing right now is Tesla. I think it's the most American product right now.
Do they make their own conductors and stuff?
Nope.
No.
They have their own plant in China that makes it. They have their own plant in Texas that makes some of it, but all the cars are assembled and all the parts are manufactured here. I think that Infinity was a big one. Nissan was put a lot of their cars together here. Rivian has a plant down in near Bloomington, Illinois.
I thought they were moving out or something.
They're not doing so well.
Yeah. I mean, any of your dishwashers or refrigerators, they're all made in the freaking same plant, just slap another name on it.
Yep. They all got bought out. They're all crap and garbage. All Samsung refrigerators are complete garbage. They have had massive problems. LG garbage.
Maytag, not as good as it used to be when it was made in America.
Stay away from that. That's all Chinese stuff. It's all just under label now.
Yeah.
Everything is complete crap and garbage. So, but you move manufacturing back in this country, it creates a hell of a lot more jobs, raises our gross domestic product, puts us back as a superpower. I mean, look how much money we've given away.
Yes, it's going to cost us a little bit more.
Yes, Lord Bliss, our coffee roasters are made in the USA. Yep, they certainly are.
Yeah, they're
made on the West Coast. But it's hard to find stuff that's made in the USA. Even the next roaster are not here, but they're not made in China and they're made over in European country. But the problem is,
I'd rather get something.
The problem is, shit's not made here anymore. If it's a hard good, it's not made here. It's hard to find any hard goods that are actually made here. So it's hard as hell to find stuff that's actually made here that we can use. We try to use as much as we possibly can, but there's not shit made in this country anymore.
Our urns that we've been using are from the 60s and 70s were made in the U.S. They have outlasted all the other urns urns that we've used.
Yeah, we had to buy some in a hurry. Is like, they were Chinese made bullshit.
Right.
We had no options.
Name brand.
Right. Well, the fucking Sunbeam and all that bullshit's all China made now.
Yeah.
The brands you knew that used to be USA companies, they last for 20 days and they're garbage. But the other ones we have last 60 years old and 50 years old.
And they work great.
Yeah.
They're workhorses.
Still going strong. But you need to move manufacturing back here. You need to create those jobs again. NAFTA was the worst thing that ever happened. Mm-hmm. That was allowed that GM, Ford were allowed to move to Mexico and bring shit into this country without tariffs was complete bullshit. That's what's killed Detroit. It was a shithole already, but you absolutely killed it and murdered the American worker by moving them. And
Detroit used to be a great place to work, live back in the day. And then like the 70s happened. And it just kind of went downhill.
What happened was they started allowing foreign countries to bring products in without any tariffs. So of course it was always cheaper because you brought it in with no tariffs. They're using slave labor, and then they can, of course, they can bring it in cheaper than you can make it when you pay somebody a decent living wage. But so that's what we were doing here, paying people decent wages. Working for GM was a phenomenal job. Got good wages, got great health care, great benefits, great retirement package.
Yeah.
All the manufacturers used to do that, right? So then you let them go out. You put them out of business because you let China bring in products, undercut them. You were, as the government didn't say, oh, you got to put some tariffs on. If you're going to bring stuff from China, you're going to use slave labor. No, because you paid off a politician and got to bring it in and let that shit happen until it was cutting the legs out, starting at the feet, working its way up. And it finally did.
Now, Chris here says Weber grills are still made in the U.S.
Yep, the plant's right by my house
Yep,
out in Huntley.
In Huntley,
There's a big plant there.
You're correct.
How much? But what I don't know is how much of the steel is American, because it's a good chance it's probably not American steel.
That'd be interesting. And then,
But they're in a bit of a trouble. Just got bought. Wow, isn't that
just
crazy?
got bought. Bought by who? That's. Oh, and what was the other? And Warsaw saying here, subscribe to Freedom Steel. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll look at it.
Yeah,
And what was the other thing? The plant in Belvedere, shutting down, closing.
Well, they're retooling the Chrysler
retooling.
Plant. They're going to they're switching over to make the electric vehicle.
Correct.
But they laid off 3,500 people.
Right. Hope that doesn't affect.
It's going to be more. Yeah, it's going to be more. I mean, 3,500 people in a town like this, that's an ungodly amount of people. The impact, just horrendous.
Oh, he gives updates on SB 26. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. There's another guy. He's from St. Charles. He, which one is that? I can't remember his name. He's supposed to stop by this week.
He gives updates at Gun Barrel Coffee.
It might be him.
What?
I think it might be him. That if he's from St. Charles, it might be. I think I already subscribed to him, but I'll check it out. Make sure. His logo is a bulldozer.
I don't understand why it says at gunbarrelcoffee.com, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but
well, it's funny as he said, like, Harley's not even American anymore. That's
No.
true. What's funny is if you pull a Harley apart, you'll find out the forks are made by Yokohama. Typically, on most of them, I think it's Yokohama that makes the forks. I don't know if it's still doing it. Then Yoshi was making the carbs. They're mostly fuel injected now, so I don't know if Yoshimura is making the injectors. But yeah, I have a Harley. It's got plenty of metric fucking screws on it, metric bolts on it.
East Wing hammers and tools are still made in the U.S. There probably still are some.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I work on my fucking Harley. I work on it. What's funny when you grab fucking standard fucking tools,
you're
like,
metric.
why is this not working? Oh, that's a 14 millimeter. Oops. Yeah. Every calipers are always 10 millimeters. The bleed bolts are always 10 millimeters. Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So they just do assembly here now. But you have to understand, there's no way you can manufacture here and compete. That's the problem. You can't manufacture here and compete because everybody else uses slave labor and then brings in parts with no tariffs, brings in stuff with no tariffs to equalize the pricing, which every other country does it to us, but we don't do it.
Well, he's saying slave labor, but using cheap labor.
Oh, okay.
It's right. I mean, because
they're getting paid. Sorry. They're getting paid.
They're getting paid.
But they're treated like shit, horrible conditions, and you're making $1 a week. Something ridiculous. The pay is so horrendous. It's basically slave labor.
Right. I mean, if you're paying somebody up here $15 an hour to work on a line, let's just say, just
paying someone else $15 a month,
and you're paying somebody $15 a month to work on a line. So big corporations, and they're trying to see profit, right? They want their profits to be way up so they can give dividends or whatever the hell it is.
The real problem is most of the companies that are using that kind of labor are American companies.
Yeah.
They just go set up an entity in a foreign country, use their labor so they can import easier, And then they get around the taxes too, because they say this is offshore earnings. They take the money out of America that they earn from American people, don't pay taxes on it, and go park it in another country. And then say we're an offshore company. Apple does this, Google does this, Microsoft does this. Your biggest companies do this. Amazon does it. It's how they avoid taxes. So you want to take all this money from the American people, then you do everything you can to avoid giving it back to the client base that supported you and made it possible for you. It's another, you're cutting the legs out from underneath the whole system.
Yeah.
You have to contribute back to the system that's making you successful and making you a billionaire. You have to give back to that system.
So Warsaw is saying here, regardless from what I've been told, if any bill passes, there would be an immediate federal stay against it, meaning the bill is null and void and is not a law and being investigated by a federal judge. Illinois has over 80
state and federal lawsuits. Yeah, but it's passed in what now? 12 states? Assault weapons ban? I think it's 8 or 12 states.
Oregon just, I know, passed theirs for limits on their magazines, but I mean, they're also going to
California has the ban in place.
Oh, yeah, California. But
if California got it through, Illinois can get it through. And there's other 11 states got it through, so they can get it through. Will it stand? Remains to be seen. Yeah, where's the NRA? Like you said it too. You said
yeah.
Where's the NRA been in all this?
You have the GOA, Gun Owners of America, and
the only one I've heard that's doing anything is the ISRA, the Illinois State Rifle Association.
Yeah.
So Brune is undoing everything. I don't know. We'll see if the bill's null and void. I don't know, man. That's so, states suck so much, and people are so against it.
I will say, yes, we pay a higher tax here than most states. The difference is just like coming from Iowa to here on the roads. Our roads are much cleaner.
Yeah,
they use a combination of salt, sand. I mean, they were out there plowing over Christmas when we were out there, but the roads are nothing compared to what it is here. I mean, it's like you come here, it's like, oh, the roads are clear, and
I wonder why the NRA is stepping back from this.
I don't know. The NRA is not as it was it used to be.
Federal case that happened in New York State that affects all 50 states. Well, that'd be good.
So yeah, it had to do something with since ARs are a common use gun, it cannot be banned.
That'd be great.
So,
I mean, it's more than a fight for guns. I think that's where people on the other side of the issue, idiots. I think, oh, you just want guns, you're gun nuts. No, it's part of it. You're stepping on an amendment. I don't care if the amendment was written 200 years ago. The point of it was not for hunting. The point of it was not for personal protection. It was because Adams was pissed when we went to go fight against and defend ourselves against the British. He said, where are all our weapons? Why don't we have weapons? He said, well, we have it. We got rid of them all. We didn't need them. He's like, how dumb is that? That can never happen again. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How do we not have weapons? And the first group that went and fought against the British, they sabotaged, I don't want to say whatever it was at the time. It was not a platoon, whatever they called they got a small platoon of guys, attacked them at night, stole their weapons, and that's how they started the fight, with stolen weapons. And so that's what they started using, was stolen weapons to get to it. And Adams was like, he couldn't believe that this was the case. We let ourselves be this ignorant, this dumb, to believe that oppression would never happen, and came unarmed and didn't have our own militia. And so that's what really spurred that Second Amendment, was that you have to have this in place. You can't ever be that naive and that ignorant again.
And here's the funny thing I've found out, but you can actually own a cannon.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I know we can, because we saw him shot at Waterman.
A black powder cannon you can own.
You can own one that uses a 12 gauge shotgun shell to shoot too. That's what the bowling ball cannon was made out of. It was a
black powder.
It might have a 12 gauge shell, right? Primer. It uses a 12 gauge shell, maybe with just black powder to shoot that bowling ball. Yeah, my uncle, when I was a kid, had a cannon.
I think it'd be kind of cool to put in my front yard. Every morning, like 5 in the morning.
Where do you shoot a cannon, though? That's the thing, those. I mean, you want to shoot blanks, or you actually want to shoot a fucking cannon? I want to shoot a fucking cannonball.
Well, I mean, you could only Can you fire that inside city limits?
I don't know.
I don't
That guy,
know.
that guy shot the 50 millimeter cannon. It was like the British replica
Yeah,
when we were at the zombie shoot in Aurora.
yeah.
In
I remember
Aurora,
that.
I think it was awesome. Like
Yeah.
that thud, just like but the bowling ball was awesome because you just hear this thoof in your chest. You could hear it from all the way across the range, and then you'd hear the as the bowling ball was coming down. It was awesome. That thing made a thud.
Yeah, they're shooting at the 600-yard range.
Yes,
I mean,
cannons are awesome.
cannons are. I mean, quad 50s would be pretty cool too.
Let's see.
Anything belt fed.
Thorbless is saying, King County Sheriff's Department and State's Attorney just passed a law about shooting within city limits. Geneva had it forever.
Oh yeah,
Geneva's had it since we were kids. That's how we got picked up for shooting BB guns and or taken to the station and cops drawing their guns on us when we were 10 years old from 6 different directions, pulling up with their guns drawn on us because we had
I
BB
remember you
guns.
guys doing that.
Cops came from every direction. It was like 7 or 8 cops, windows down, behind the door. Drop the weapon now. Their weapons drawn on us. We're 10 years old.
Well, I know they were having problems in Kane County because there's some hunting land people are using, farmland, and I guess the shots were coming close to the house. You know you're moving out there where people hunt, and you bitch about it.
Oh, so he's saying you can't shoot within city limits, but to be west of 47. So if you own farm property in Kane County, there's no way they can stop you from hunting or shooting, especially nuisance on your own land.
No, but somebody could call a nuisance complaint on you for shooting on your own property.
It was by Mill Creek. He's saying the shooting was by Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of out there in the sticks. The problem is, if you shut off a firecracker, somebody would call down and be like, "They're shooting us! They're shooting at us! They're shooting at us! Oh my God, help us! It's so loud!" It'd be like a small firecracker, and people would call, and someone would have a goddamn fit over it.
That's why they should pass silencers. It would lessen the noise.
There you go.
There you go. Problem solved.
Nice suppressed. The land is
Suppressed,
in limits
yes.
you cannot shoot. Yeah, nowhere in Geneva.
No, you couldn't.
Right. So
But it'd be pretty cool to have a cannon to simulate, like they do in the military for Reveille.
your neighbors would love you.
They would.
They complain about
3 out of 4.
They complain about bonfires and lawnmowers and kids. Can you imagine a cannon? I just need to live in a state where freedom still exists and none of the bullshit.
Like Wyoming, I think you can actually own an actual cannon. I mean, like
Marmion has a cannon.
who?
Marmion?
Marmion?
Yeah, but they're in Aurora though.
Well, in Aurora, you can't have ARs or AKs.
That's right. You can't have
those.
Aurora's super strict now.
Yeah, which you'd think somebody would have sued because it's unconstitutional.
Doesn't matter if anybody wants to take it to suit. No, because it's not unconstitutional. Because I read about it. So there's certain provisions allowed within the law. Oh, what the fuck do they call it? I can't remember. There's an exclusion that they call it when it becomes such a problem that they can bypass the amendment. It stood up in Supreme Court that when they prove that like this weapon or this has been used in so many incidences and caused so many problems that it stands outside the Constitution.
So the gangbangers over there are following that rule.
Yeah, of course they are.
They are.
Yeah. Oh, we can't have these anymore. I won't have them. Oh, they have them, just nobody else does.
Oh, what was that thing that happened the other day with El Chapo's son in Mexico? They caught him, and the cartels were just going crazy, shooting up things right before Biden's supposed to be there Sunday or Monday.
Didn't they let him go? I think they let him go, didn't they?
They let him go the first time because of it. The second time, when they caught him Friday or Thursday, they just been shooting up everything, taking out police.
Well, it's funny
whatever.
What's funny is the people loved El Chapo because before he took over, everything was a shithole. There was no schools, there was no water, no reliable electricity, no reliable phone system. Businesses were too afraid. People were too afraid to walk down the fucking streets. When El Chapo came, he built schools. He wasn't greedy with
that
them.
was Pablo.
Escobar.
Yeah.
Escobar. Sorry, that's right. Escobar. That's right. That's who it was. Yeah. But he was.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chapo did some of the same bullshit. He's a bad dude, but those guys are smart. They take care of the people, And then when they have to go on the run, the people take care of them and they stand up for them because they make it better. And if you live in a dangerous neighborhood, when the cartel comes, the random criminal doesn't operate within their territory anymore. They leave. And you don't dare mug somebody, rape somebody in the cartel territory because that makes the cartel look weak. So they get rid of all
They
that
can
crime.
do that.
Right. But they get rid of all that crime because if somebody else who's not a member of the cartel is committing crime in the cartel's area,
Makes them look weak. Oh
Right.
shit!
what'd you do?
I touched the damn thing again.
Ah,
Just so we're gonna have a technical problem for a minute.
there you go. If we don't have, well, if we can't have mags with, if we can't have guns with mags, then police don't need to have guns when off duty. There you go.
Let me see if I can get the camera to work again. Hold
So,
on.
what does Washington
Technical.
say? Technically, we're at war. Our borders are open, and Mexico is allowing cartels. Yeah, they are. No, you're a bad person if you say criminals come across the border. Now we've been told
Okay, hold on. We're trying to
criminals don't run from crime; they stay there.
Why is the thing not? I gotta remember not to touch that thing, or maybe get a new.
Looks like your camera's unplugged.
Yes, it was. I don't
Plug
remember
back in. Select a different camera. Unplug it and plug it back in.
That's what I'm doing. Ta-da! Come on.
Let me see if it.
What did I do last time to fix it?
I don't know. Did you click start cam? Go to start cam down here.
Oh, there it is. Start camera. There we are. Now we're back.
Start cam. Yeah, I agree. I think everybody should just be unarmed. It should be illegal for. Are you kidding?
Somebody. So, well, I mean, in Britain, I think you're allowed a shotgun, but
You are?
Yeah, I think you're allowed
I
a
thought you were
hunting shotgun, just for hunting.
I don't think we're allowed any weapons anymore.
Maybe not in the city, but out in your lord's fields or something. I don't know. You are allowed to have some sort of shotgun for hunting because they do fox hunts and stuff
That's
like
true.
that,
Yeah,
right?
It's probably just the super wealthy who've gotten the lords and ladies of the. They have such an oppressive country. I don't care what you say. The king and queen are oppressive. Germany as well.
Yeah, Germany
trash
and
bylaws.
England. Yeah, they have.
Germany's super.
And most of the people that are trying to defend themselves against stuff are using pellet guns. And not just like your regular 177s. They're using like 22s and 35 calibers and 45 caliber pellet guns. Or bows and arrows.
It says everybody has to be in an armory and you have to check it out on days that you're slotted to hunt. so you can, but you have to leave it in an armory. That's what it is. That sounds familiar. Yeah, you have to check out days you're going hunting. You're not allowed to keep it at your residence, but you can keep it in an armory and check it out. That's not that ultimate oppression and dictatorship. I don't know what is. You citizens can never be armed, and you have to just deal with whatever we tell you it is. That's insane.
Well, with Brazil's new president, I'm wondering if they're going to keep it. Switzerland has one of the best gun laws.
Really?
Oh yeah, you are when you go to almost every citizen has a gun. So when you do military service, you actually get to keep your gun
in Switzerland. Like in the most neutral country.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Kyle from Full Send Military Sim Airsoft out there? One of our newest supporters. Is going to be carrying our coffee out there too. Awesome. Huh. Sweden has good firearm rights.
I wouldn't think Sweden. Ukraine, as of now, yeah, they have some great gun laws. I mean,
they have to
pick up a dead Russian's gun and shoot them.
You can take a tank home.
You can take a tank.
When you can take a tank home, that's awesome.
Yeah. Take like 2 or 3 of them, just park them in my front yard.
I love that they said, yeah, you can take them, sell them. There will be no taxes on them. If you saw our Tank Reaper coffee, it was all a tribute to that. It was the John Deere Tonaway tank, which I think is so cool. Switzerland gave up neutrality when the war in Ukraine kicked off more. They did?
I don't think so. Why would that matter if Ukraine kicked off?
What did they take Ukraine's side? I hope. Did they say they were neutral anymore? Because wasn't Putin's mistress hiding out in Switzerland? Wasn't that where she was hanging out?
I
Was
think.
Switzerland? It was either there or Sweden. I don't remember now. But yeah, his mistress with the kid was he says no longer neutral. Was
Huh.
hanging out in Switzerland, I thought.
Well, they're not part of NATO.
No, they never will be.
No. Have they been giving arms to
I don't know.
Ukraine? I don't know.
What takes away their neutrality? What are they doing that says they're no longer neutral?
Yeah, they've been.
They sided with Ukraine. Good.
But that
Did they send troops? Did they send weapons, money? Yeah. That's awesome, man. She was at my house. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know. That's reading. Training their troops and helping them. That's awesome. What do they have to lose? It's one of the richest countries in the world. They're good. They don't need any help from Russia or support from Russia.
yeah.
You know. It's amazing though that Ukraine's done a hell of a job. A lot of help from a bunch of countries surrounding. We've spent over 10 billion now because we just authorized another 2.58 billion. We're sending Bradleys
I think
to them.
50 billion we've sent them.
It's
It's a big number.
What's amazing is we can pay for that, forgive some student loan, pay some other shit. Amazing money we have. I can't,
Send money to other countries.
I'm sure this is not affecting what the recession at all. That we're just printing money like there's no tomorrow and giving it away.
Huh.
I'm happy to help Ukraine. I think they need some help. I don't know how much help they need, but
Hey, you know what? I mean, they've been putting up a hell of a fight with their own military and their
8-day war has turned into 354 days or something.
almost
It's crazy.
almost a year.
Never believed it would go this long. Never.
No,
Nobody believed, I don't think. But they've done a great job.
Russia is not the powerhouse as it was back in the 60s, 70s.
Well, so what's
Even
funny is like
80s.
one of the arguments one of the idiots made for taking away ARs was
Hmm.
like, what are you gonna do? Fight against our own military? Go ahead, go fight against our own military with your AR. But even Biden's like, it's like we have jets. So what are you gonna fight against with Ukraine's proving you could pick up your daddy shotgun and go fight against the Russian military. I understand their military is not as advanced as ours, but they were not a big military or organized military. They're basically red dawning it against a superpower and standing their ground and kicking some ass.
Yeah.
So
And as many of those people think that our own military would turn on their own people, you might get some, but a majority of the military is going to pretty much help the regular people. I'm sorry.
AKs, bullpups, and M4 rifles, nice.
Oh yeah,
And you go,
especially
okay,
you can buy the Chinese Type 56.
It's amazing that the world got together standing up against Russia. I think it's pretty awesome that Europe's uniting.
Well, I don't think it's any different than what we did to Russia during the Afghan, and what probably Russia did when we were in Afghanistan, probably supplying the enemy of the United States there,
You
the
know?
Taliban. I would not be surprised. China and Russia.
You gotta have somebody sell your weapons to.
Yeah, and you got to have experimental stuff.
And when the Taliban's one of the richest organizations in the world, who's all backed by oil money,
No, that was ISIS.
bullshit.
Taliban is fucking bankrupt. That whole country is.
ISIS, Taliban, it's all the same. Goddamn it.
Hmm.
Somewhere. Unfortunately, we supply the Taliban. Well, he says, well, probably in some cases.
Yeah.
Who knows anymore? It's all. I mean, it all goes around. Who knows? Who knows when we sell weapons to one country, they're not turning around and selling them to the Taliban or selling them to ISIS. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the belief that that's what Russia was doing with Syrian weapons, right? Syria would sell weapons to Russia. Russia would turn around and arm Taliban or ISIS, whatever the case.
Or vice versa, however
Right.
it goes. It's
Right.
all right. It's 3:00, so
Ooh.
we got to go set up for the gun show tomorrow at the at King County.
Yeah, if you're local, come out 7:30 to like 1:00 at the King County Fairgrounds.
I'm predicting it's going to be busy because of
Better
the
come get
Senate
your
bill.
AKs before that bill gets passed. This is the bill we all rushed for 10 years ago or 5-6 years ago, right? That we all rushed for and drove ammo prices up and drove gun prices through the roof and couldn't touch ammo anymore. Remember when you couldn't get 223, you couldn't even get 22 anymore.
Yeah.
And that's because of this, we were worried about this happening. Well, it's happened, and you better get grandfathered in before it all goes away.
Yep. So guys, keep your head on a swivel, be safe. We'll see you guys next weekend.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you always for your support.
Yep. And don't forget to get your coffee from Gun Barrel Coffee.
Don't forget GBC 10. Save yourself 10%.
Peace.